Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. It's another new week at Celtic Football Club. We get ever closer to the football returning. But before all of that, we've got to talk about some of the stories concerning transfers at Celtic. The landscape hasn't really changed since I last checked in with you on Friday, but there's a couple of things to talk about, including an update on the Nicholas Kühn situation. So, let's talk about that. If you haven't already, please make sure to hit like and subscribe. It'd be very much appreciated as we try and get to 50,000 subscribers this year. How close can we get? Well, you guys determine that. If you haven't, drop down below, hit both of those buttons. It's absolutely free and it goes a long way. As I said in the intro, today's video isn't going to contain a lot of new information. You're probably aware of the majority of stories we're going to talk about today, including the updates on Nicholas Kühn, but sadly I don't control the news at Celtic Football Club. Sadly, I'm not the one who's making the moves behind the scenes. So we just need to sit and wait for stuff to happen and rumours to roll out. We are going to talk about a couple of names that have crept up in the past couple of days over the weekend, but mostly the landscape remains unchanged. Nicholas Kühn is almost a Celtic player. We're going to talk about that in a moment, but it has been quiet. It's been basically the story of the January window. I think that a lot of people had their ambitions high, their sights set high. It's been a January which I'm not really surprised about. I mean, that's Celtic for you. Let's start on Nicholas Kühn, shall we then? If you've already missed my video from Friday, then I recommend you go back and watch it if you want a bit of a deep dive on the player himself. We talk more about his career thus far and the type of player that Celtic are getting in this window, but it's almost about to happen. I think over the next 24 hours we'll have that official announcement of Nicholas Kühn being a Celtic player. He is currently in London for his medical, as far as we all understand. And the details for the move have been drawn up and completed. We can have a look through them now. So the Daily Record is reporting that Nicholas Kühn will be signing a 4.5-year contract when he signs for Celtic in the coming days, and the final transfer fee will be over £3 million when bonuses and add-ons are concluded. I think that one of the final figures that was published by one of the mainstream articles was £2.8 million up front, with add-ons and bonuses that will take it over £3 million. So Celtic have got their man. Rapid Vienna have got the money that they wanted. The talk was they wanted £3 million for Nicholas Kühn before letting him go, and Celtic have negotiated a deal which takes that to Rapid Vienna. They will get their £3 million. A lot of people were getting in a bit of a hairy canary with the situation of Celtic trying to lowball them and trying to negotiate. But listen, that's what you do in the transfer market. You negotiate, and Celtic are very frustrating for that. We've missed out on countless players over the years because we've refused to pay an extra couple hundred, £500,000. But this deal was always going to get done. The player had his heart set on Celtic. I think Celtic knew it was only a matter of finalising that deal. And listen, they tried to get him for as good a deal as possible. So, you know, £3 million, not a huge sum of money, but once again, a decent lump for a player who comes in now, probably starting against Bucky Thistle, you'd assume. Maybe comes off the bench. It's a huge opportunity for him to start his Celtic career on a high, with all due respect to Bucky Thistle. I don't mean to suddenly disregard opposition. You never know. The magic of the cup. They could come to Celtic Park and win. But realistically, if you're giving a guy a chance against Bucky Thistle, there is a solid opportunity there for him to open his Celtic career with a goal, an assist, whatever. A decent enough performance and build momentum, get him minutes in his legs, working with his new teammates. So we could see him as soon as Saturday, as long as the deal is all polished up and the medical is passed. But I'm assuming that things will be fine down in London today. So hopefully tomorrow we have the pictures of him at Parkhead in a Celtic jersey. My final thoughts on Nicholas Kühn are I'm excited to see him. Now, I've said this countless times, you know me. I love a German. I love the German football. I love Germany as a country. Celtic haven't had a lot of luck with German players in recent years. There's not really been any standout ones in a while. So hopefully this is one that breaks the mould. I'm really excited to see him. I think he'll be a good signing for Celtic. He looks like a player who has a really good ability in terms of what he can do with the ball. Watching the videos makes him look good, but that's what these videos do, so we'll take it all with a pinch of salt. What he does in the Celtic jersey is first and foremost the priority, so Hopefully gets off to a flyer against Bucky Thistle and then Ross County in the league as well. A lot of people asking what will happen with Liel Abada now that we're bringing in another right winger. Look, listen, I don't think it means that Liel Abada will be suddenly benched or not played. He's still got a massive part to play at his time here at Celtic, however long that may be. But, you know, it's good to have these options, and we've certainly upgraded our quality on the wing. So, yeah, next 24 hours, hopefully we'll have that official announcement of Nicholas Kühn being a Celtic player, but the medical is being done today. The transfer window hopefully won't end there. We of course know that Brendan Rodgers has been asking for quality in the months leading up to this January window, and Mail Sport have been reporting that Celtic are intending on making another couple of signings in this window. This was credit to Everything Celtic, their tweet. Couldn't find the article itself from Daily Mail. They're like that, they're slippery bastards. But here you go. Celtic are set to complete the signing of Nicholas Kühn in the coming days, but Brendan Rodgers is still hopeful to add 2 more signings in the month. It is believed that the club are targeting a left back and a striker. That was from Mail Sport. Of course, this isn't news, you know, this isn't just fresh off the press. We knew this all along, that Celtic were targeting some primary areas, those being left back, those being striker, apparently the right wing as well. We knew there were certain areas that the club were going to prioritise in this window, so it's hardly news. But what it's nice to see is that the club are actively still interested in doing that in this window, because with how quiet it's been and with how little names that we've actually been linked with in relation to these positions, I started to gather the feeling that maybe, just maybe, they were like, no, we'll just leave it in this window. But it seems that the club are still pushing to get that done in the January window, to go out there and get a left back and get a striker. So it's a nice reminder that the club are actually still setting out to do that. It's now about sitting and waiting to find out what names they're going to be, because we know that Matthias Kvistgaarden will not be coming to Celtic. We know that Thiago Araujo, that's went quiet. So those were the two, you know, on top of Kühn, those were the 3 players that I really expected Celtic to sign in this window. I thought it was going to be Nicholas Kühn, Matthias Kvistgaarden and Thiago Araujo. Suddenly, you're looking at it being Nicholas Kühn and 2 players that we don't know. So hopefully in the coming days we do get linked with a left back, we do get linked with a striker, and we can start to kind of bring an image together of who we're going for and what we're going to improve in. But obviously time is running out. We're halfway through the month now, so Celtic do need to get a move on. Let's talk about a couple of names then, shall we? Because there have been a couple of names linked with the club in the past couple of days. Not necessarily, once again, in positions that I would have expected in regards to left back and striker, but some tabloids are throwing out names. One that Celtic fans will be buzzing about because it's a name that we never shut up about, but one that you've got to ground yourself with, because it ain't going to happen. Not in this window anyway. Once again, we're going back to Mail Sport here, and Lewis Steele of Mail Sport is reporting that Celtic, once again, are looking at the possibility of trying to sign Kevin Kelleher of Liverpool. This is the article here. Celtic are one of many clubs interested in a summer move for Liverpool goalkeeper Kevin Kelleher, according to sources in Scotland, though it is likely the Reds would not sell the Irishman for anything but a fair transfer fee if he makes the decision to leave. Celtic, though, are likely to be challenged for Kelleher's signature if he does decide to leave this summer, which is a decision he has not yet made. And 3 Premier League clubs have also watched the keeper this season, including Brentford, Brighton and Wolves. As I said, don't look at these articles, don't look at these names and suddenly think that Kevin Kelleher is going to be coming to Celtic, because he's not coming to Celtic. I would be stunned if we even managed to capture a player like him in the summer transfer window, let alone this window. The last time we spoke about him, Liverpool were talking about wanting £20 million for the player. I believe his contract is up in 2026, which means come the summer, he still has 2 years left in that deal. And we are battling Premier League sides, if there's any interest there. We are battling Brentford, Brighton, Wolves, teams that I think he would jump to before he would jump to Celtic, in all honesty. Now, I know Celtic have that lure of Champions League football, but he's also got the opportunity to go and be a number 1 at a Premier League side, if they offer that. Now, the only good thing is I suppose, Brentford, Brighton and Wolves are all teams with decent keepers. So does he become the number 1 there automatically? Does he replace Flecken at Brentford? Does he replace Verbruggen at Brighton? You know, there's an opportunity for him to be a definite number 1 should Joe Hart leave Celtic in the summer. But the fee that Liverpool are going to demand is going to be way out of Celtic's price range with 2 years left in his deal. It's not like there's 1 year left, it's 2. keep yourself grounded. When you see these articles, take them all with a pinch of salt, because as much as I would love Celtic to go out and sign Kelleher, I am very realistic in saying it's probably not going to happen. Another name that has popped back up again is Romeo Amane, the central midfielder who was first linked with the side in December. That's popped back up again. Apparently he's on a Celtic transfer shortlist, but it will not be happening in this window. Neither it should happen in this window. We don't need another central midfielder. So that's another one. If you pass, if you see the name, if you see tabloids trying to link us with the player, understand, probably not going to happen in this window. But he is a name that Celtic are looking at. Romeo Amane, of course, midfielder for BK Häcken. But just not needed at Celtic at this moment in time. And I can't believe I'm actually going to talk about this one, because I feel genuinely embarrassed talking about it. But can we, for anybody who lives religiously by Celtic Facebook group posts and believes all of the, if you're one of those people who believe everything you see on Facebook, get the name Jesse Lingard there is more chance of me signing for Celtic this window than Jesse Lingard. That's been popping up to the point where the Daily Record have even had the cheek to write an article about it. This was the Record's headline: Jesse Lingard to Celtic rumour explodes, but has already had an answer due to unshakable theory about free agent. He ain't signing for Celtic, neither should he sign for Celtic. If he signed for Celtic, I'd probably give up. I'm not going to lie. And don't give me, you're a decent player, I'd like to sign him. No. He's not. And that would never happen. So, I mean, I think he actually is one of the few players, I believe, who have been knocked back by a Saudi Arabian club because he asked for too much money. And you're going on Facebook to believe that he's signing for Celtic. Behave yourself. I can't believe I'm talking about it, as I said, but I just want to make it very, very clear. Jesse Lingard will not be at Celtic Football Club. And that really is about it for today. As I say, there's nothing really new. And the names that we have spoke about there, Kevin Kelleher, for example, they're nothing really. It's just headline clickbait, really. There's not an awful lot, but I have to fill up my time somehow talking about something. And do you know what? If I can rubbish something, if I can give an honest opinion on something, I'll do that. That's the whole point in having a YouTube channel, I suppose, at the end of the day. But hopefully Nicholas Kühn will be here over the next 24 hours. Hopefully we start to hear something about a left back and a striker over the coming days. And if we do, don't worry, I'll be the first one on here to report it for you. So that does it for today. If you have enjoyed the video, please make sure to hit like and subscribe. It'd be much appreciated. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and I'll see you all next time.